Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome to the video I know you've been waiting for quite some time. Yes, in today's special video, I'm going to let you guys vote for my FIFA 18 career mode team. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you would have known that on Thursday night, I did 5 preliminary polls featuring all 20 Premier League teams, and you chose one winner from all of those 5 polls, and those winners are going into a final poll, which is in today's video. Now, if you don't want to listen to me nattering on about the clubs, then I wouldn't blame you, and that's totally fine, and you just want to vote, then click or tap on the top right of your device or on the computer screen right now. No, not the computer screen, on the video on your computer screen, and tap on the little eye, and you can just vote for the team. Otherwise, in this video, I'm going to give you a brief description of all the teams, why I think they'd be a fantastic choice for a FIFA 18 career mode team, and also a really little brief, I guess, sort of prediction as to what we'll be looking to do with the team, the transfers we look to make, and the style of play as well. So without further ado, let's get to it, and let's meet the first team of 5 you guys can vote for us to begin our FIFA 18 career mode with. So the first of the 5 you guys can vote for is, of course, the biggest club of the 5 choices. It's Liverpool, the side that finished in 4th place in the Premier League last season under Jurgen Klopp, and for the first time since 2014 are back in the Champions League. And I really feel like Liverpool would be a great team to start with in FIFA 18, because normally when we start off a career mode, we do the same sort of project. Really, it's a mid-table or a lower half of the table team in the Premier League, someone that's expected to finish in the bottom half of the table, and then we try and gradually build them up after like 2 or 3 years to become one of the best teams in the country, and then eventually one of the best teams in Europe as well. But Liverpool would make things a little bit different, which would be really fun. For once, we'll be starting with a big club, and right from the get-go, our challenge would be to be as one of the bigger clubs in the world. In the first season with Liverpool, I'd want us to hit the ground running, get in straight away, and try and compete for the title in the first season at Anfield. So I think that would be a really good, unique, well, maybe not unique, but I guess for my channel, a unique sort of way of doing things, because normally it's the same sort of projects, you know, like again, a mid-table side or a side in the lower half of the table. This time it will be different. We'll be starting with a big club, and it will be up to us to hit the ground running straight away. So I would definitely like to start with Liverpool for a different style of career mode on this channel. As for transfers with this team we're looking to make, well, I would say the main area that needs improving for Liverpool would be defence. Their back line is fragile at times, and I feel as though even with some good youngsters coming through like Trent Alexander-Arnold in the right back role, that's the main area I would focus on in the signings right from the get-go. Mainly a centre-half, looking to replace Dejan Lovren and also Matip and Klavan as well, and really restructure Liverpool's backline and try and keep hold of Philippe Coutinho as well. That will be also equally important in the transfer window. So I think Liverpool will be a really fun team, you know, a very fun choice. I would probably say in terms of formations and the way we'd play, we'd probably start off using either the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, using one of those 2 formations to begin with. Not entirely sure which one. Guess it depends on what takes my fancy. And as for the squad depth for the team as well, it's okay. They've got some decent squad depth, but I feel as though we would still need to improve that, even though they are clearly the biggest club of the 5 in this poll. So Liverpool, the first team you guys can vote for, and again, I think they would be fantastic for a different type of career mode on this channel, and I'll probably say they would be hopefully my favourites to win this poll. But of course, it's up to you. It's not to me. It's you guys who can decide what team will manage first. But if you want it to be Liverpool, then vote in the top right of the screen right now and choose Liverpool from the 5. So the second team you guys can vote for are Southampton. Yes, the Saints of St Mary's on the south coast of England. Last season were managed by Claude Puel, but this season have changed managers and gone with Pellegrino despite a very decent finish under the Frenchman last season, and of course an EFL Cup final place against Manchester United as well. Southampton are a very decent team, not bad at all. A side who obviously have got a decent recent history in terms of bringing through youth prospects. Some fantastic academy talents have graduated from their youth team over the past few years, and they'll be a really, really awesome team to start off with, because I feel as though they're sort of great for a career mode. You know, a team that are good at using the academy, they're good at bringing through players and developing players. I think most importantly, when you think of the names that have moved on in recent years, Sadio Mane, Adam Lallana, Virgil van Dijk, of course, could have moved on in this summer transfer window as well, but instead has stayed at the club, at least for now. And I think that would be probably one of the biggest and best things about doing a career with this team as well. Right from the get-go, there'd be a major question to be asked of the team, and that is, do we keep the one-away captain, Virgil van Dijk, and try and build around a truly class defender, or do we cash in straight away and then start rebuilding with a lot more money available at St Mary's? So a big question to start off with. What do we decide to do? Sell the captain or keep him here? And I think that will make this career quite an interesting one as well if we chose Southampton. They've got some lovely kits, of course, and I think they'd be a really awesome team to use. Of course, all the 5 teams in the poll have a real stadium as well. And in the first season, unlike with Liverpool, we wouldn't be going for the title, that's for sure. In the first season, they'll be looking for a European place, that's for sure. Top 4 might be a little bit too tricky to break into in our debut season at St Mary's, but I'll be gunning for a Europa League place, that's for sure. And after reaching the EFL Cup final last year as well, I'd want a decent cup run with the Saints too in the first season, and I think that's something we could do if we improved our squad depth as well, because the first 11 Southampton's pretty decent, but I feel as though once you get outside of their first team squad, there's not a great deal in terms of real first team quality. But what Southampton do have is a lot of good youth prospects, and of course they've proved that through the years as well. So with the Saints, we'll be looking to improve the squad depth in terms of the transfers, don't get me wrong, but also we'll be doing a lot of academy work with Southampton, getting through lots and lots of great young talent in the first team, and we'd certainly have objectives year after year as well in terms of the amount of youth players we want to feature in our first team on a regular basis. So Southampton will be a really, really fun team. Again, starting off with the dilemma, sell captain Van Dijk or keep him here, and also bringing through some youth talents as well, and trying to make this side a better one and break them into the top 4 one day as well. Southampton the second team, and I think they'd be a really, really fun side to use as well for a career mode in FIFA 18. So the third team you guys can vote for are Bournemouth, who of course last night beat Brighton by 2-1 in the Friday night game in the Premier League, with Jermaine Defoe scoring his first in a Cherry shirt in the Premier League. And Bournemouth are quite an interesting side to use, because Bournemouth haven't really changed their side massively since they first got into the Premier League. Eddie Howe's kept them in this division and given them reasonable security over the past 2 seasons, but I think they'd be a really fun side to use with, because they wouldn't have an astronomical budget, their team isn't the best. We'd want to start making big changes as soon as we get in there and start introducing real first team quality. This season, of course, adding Jermaine Defoe from recently relegated Sunderland, Begovic the Bosnian from Chelsea as well, and of course bringing Nathan Ake in permanently from Stamford Bridge too. They've got a decent team, there's some okay young talent, but it's certainly a side that does need an awful lot in terms of progression to take them to the next step in the Premier League. So they got a really good young manager in Eddie Howe, but I think they'd be a really fun side to use. The Vitality is a very small stadium as well. It's very small in comparison to the other stadiums in the Premier League, only about 11,000 I think it is capacity, something like that. But I think that would sort of add to the sort of the unique feel. It's not a big stadium, but it could be an intimidating home ground as well, and that's what I think would be quite good with Bournemouth. So certainly a team that would be quite fun. Again, they need an awful lot of progression, an awful lot of change to help them take the next step as well. But trying to bring through young talent would be quite key with Bournemouth, I would say. It's good getting those experienced players like Defoe in as well, and of course Begovic in his late 20s too. So we would be looking for a range of players when bringing in players and transfers. We'll be signing some young talent like they've got right now, like players like Lewis Cook and Jordan Ibe as well, who came off the bench last night and transformed the game really for Bournemouth when they were trailing against Brighton. But to also bring some experienced players in as well. So we look for a nice mix of youth and experience with Bournemouth in the transfers in order to hopefully take them to the next level. So yeah, Bournemouth I think will be quite a fun team. Again, not the best, that's for sure. Do require an awful lot of work, but a decent project I would say, and certainly worth considering. So Bournemouth, the third team of the 5, and if you'd like to vote for them, you know what to do. Click or tap on the top right and go ahead and vote for the Cherries. So the fourth and penultimate team you guys can vote for out of the 5 is the only non-English club in the Premier League, and it's a side who I did a Football Manager save with back in FM16, and that is of course Swansea City from the Liberty Stadium, with a really interesting side. Now, of course, last season, most people thought they would go down after a really catastrophic first half in the Premier League. I thought they were dead and buried after the Bob Bradley show, and I really felt as though Paul Clement had a job which he never really stood a chance with, but instead he turned around their fortunes, of course with the help of Gylfi Sigurdsson and Fernando Llorente, lest we forget, to keep the Swans in the Premier League. But this season, they've of course sold both of those star players, so that's what would make this career mode a really fun one right from the beginning. They're tipped as being one of the weaker clubs in the Premier League, so we'll be up against it right in the first season. And without our star players, the Icelandic playmaker Sigurdsson and the Spanish striker Llorente as well, we need to look for new heroes at the Liberty Stadium, and we'd either get those heroes by either signing them or getting them from the youth academy. Swansea have got some decent players that have come through the youth ranks in the past decade, so I think that'd be quite a fun team to use to try and get better players through the academy, as well as signing in players too. And with Wilfred Bonney back at the club as well, I think that would be quite an interesting story arc from the first season onwards. Would he be firing on all cylinders on his return to the Liberty, or would he be nothing like he was in his first spell? So Swansea certainly a fun team. Again, quite a challenging team to begin with, not the best in the league, that's for sure. But of course, being the only non-English club in the Premier League does make them really unique in their own right. And of course, Renato Sanchez in on loan from Bayern Munich too, that would be really interesting in the first season. How would he do on loan here in Wales, and could we turn his move into a permanent one after his loan spell? I guess that would be quite an interesting thing to consider too. So I think Swansea would be really fun, you know, not a big budget at all, a team where we'd be trying to bleed through the youngsters as well, and get some good young talents in to join Renato Sanchez and Tammy Abraham, both on loan from Bayern Munich and Chelsea respectively. They'd be a fun side, no doubt about it. You know, they play some good football. I think it'd be a really fun challenge with them not being a good team in the Premier League right now, not one of the best teams, that's for sure, and trying to have a meteoric rise with the Swans and turn them into the most powerful club in the English Premier League, despite being a Welsh side. So Swansea, the fourth team, and you know how to vote for them. So the fifth and final club is probably the most predictable one that you knew was going to be coming in this poll. It is of course Huddersfield Town, who under David Wagner last season won the playoff final by beating Jaap Stam's Reading to pit them in the Championship playoff final and reach the Premier League for the first time ever. Now, Huddersfield going into the season were tipped by almost every pundit to be certs to get relegated, and most of which tipped them to be bottom of the table come the end of the season. And whilst that still could definitely happen, no doubt about it, they've had a very good start to the season by their standards, of course winning their first 2 games, and the first of which being that emphatic 3-0 victory away at Selhurst Park against Palace on the opening day. Now of course, David Wagner has his Huddersfield team playing a really high energy game, and that's one of the reasons why they could well prove to be a very difficult team to beat this season in the Premier League for many clubs in this division. 2 of course already found it out this season, so they'd be a really fun team to use in the sense that we know that every single game we're going to be the underdogs. You know, we're never going to be considered favourites in pretty much any Premier League game during the entire season, so I think that'll be great. And with not a great deal of first team quality in the team as well, it needs to be improved drastically ASAP. But the challenge is Huddersfield are going to have a very small budget, the smallest in the Premier League, and it's going to be really difficult with a new transfer system to bring in good quality players that will actually improve Huddersfield. Now of course they will have a real stadium in the game. This what you're seeing is FIFA 17 footage, so unfortunately you won't be able to see their stadium, their real stadium in the game, but I'll try and add in a screenshot if I can find one of Huddersfield Stadium digitalized in FIFA 18. But yeah, this should be fun. You know, of course, definitely considered by most the weakest club in the Premier League, so we'll be the underdogs to stay up in the first season, and it'll be a nice road to glory despite being in a top division in Europe. That's for sure. It'll be a road to glory because we are still going to be a really, really weak side. We are going to be starting in a top division, and with Aaron Moy through the middle as well, obviously making a name for himself at Huddersfield, and seeing him become a bit of a fan's favourite at the moment. I think that would be kind of cool whether we can get him to be captain right to begin with and try and drive this team forward in the Premier League despite being the surprise package. So Huddersfield, the 5th and final team you guys can vote for, without question the toughest challenge, and certainly one which will probably take a lot longer for progression than normal. But if you'd like to vote for them, then click or tap in the top right and go ahead and choose the Terriers from the poll if you'd like us to start at Huddersfield. So that's that then, guys. All 5 teams available for you. You can vote for whichever one you guys like. I really don't mind who wins. I just want you guys to have the best experience on FIFA 18 on my channel as you guys could possibly have. I think all 5 teams are good. The way I set it up in the polls meant there was always going to be a good amount of variety, you know, ranging from a club in the Champions League like Liverpool and a club just getting up from the Championship in Huddersfield Town. Make this a really varied poll for you guys to vote on. And that means that I feel like everyone's needs are catered to, at least in one of these teams, out of the 5 that have been chosen. So thanks to everyone that voted in the preliminary polls on Twitter on Thursday and Friday. And of course, don't forget to vote for this poll as well. It's your choice for who we start off in the FIFA 18 career mode, which will begin as soon as I get my pause on the game, hopefully around the 26th of September. This poll is going to be up until Thursday night, so you've got until this Thursday coming to get your votes in, and it will close at around 6 p.m. UK time on that Thursday. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to vote for the team that you guys want us to start with in the FIFA 18 career mode. I don't mind which team you guys choose, as long as you guys choose one. Have a fantastic weekend. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the start of my FIFA 18 career with a team of your choice very soon.